We're live. We're going live right now. So
We're on here for like the next 4 hours.
next 4 hours, that's it. Everybody just kind of hold on tight. And the next 4 hours will fly. We promise.
I love it. You should have it in your email, Monica.
Huh?
You should have it in your email now.
Okay. Okay, so we are live and we wait a little bit. Let's see who joins us in the meantime. How is everybody this morning?
I forgot my coffee.
Doing great. Well, everybody's lighting is good except for me. I'm glowing like I'm Casper the ghost. But one of these days I'll get it right. But oh well. It is what it is. I see people are joining, just a few, but I know that we have quite a bit to talk about today, and it's a very important subject and something that came up very recently. I know we had an issue about a year ago also, and so I thought I'd bring Missy back in for that conversation because it was some really important tips and tricks that were shared at that time that I thought we could, bring into this situation as well. Plus, I was really impressed with how Trisha had handled the situation that she recently had, and thought this is a great way to handle that moment and to be careful. So, there was actually been a warning, I believe, that even with our National Association of Realtors, of scammers and people receiving phone calls, not just locally, but nationwide. And it's something that's on the uptick over the last couple of months. And we know that our members are having to deal with this, receiving phone calls. Many of us, for like myself, I have set up my phone where if it's an unknown number, my phone doesn't even ring. It just to voicemail. So yeah, I'm going to miss a lot of important phone calls, but I'll call people back. They leave messages usually. If it's important and it's, connected to something that you need to know about, they will call you back. So, or leave a message so that you can call them back rather. So I kind of wanted Trisha Scott is joining us today. And so is Missy Cardenas Barajas and David Cáceres. And as stated in our flyer that we sent out to everybody, we're talking about safety and scammers and the reality of what realtor members are having to deal with on top of COVID and the pandemic and all the other issues that are highly hot topics at the moment. You're also having to deal with phone calls by people who are trying to take advantage of these moments and of these situations. And so, Trisha, if you could just kind of walk us through what happened to you, I believe, was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
It was 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago tomorrow, actually. So what happened was it was around lunchtime on a Friday, and the phone call that came in, it was a local number. So of course, I answered it. And it was a gentleman. He said his name was David Hilton with McAllen PD. So as I'm on the phone with him, I Googled the phone number, and sure enough, it was McAllen PD's main number. And I Googled the name of the officer, and McAllen PD has an officer named David Hilton. So it made everything that he was saying very legit. And I really had no reason to question him initially. But when he started getting into details of what he was asking, I started to get concerned. But let me back up a little bit. One of the first things he did was ask me to verify my full name. And he said my full name, and he asked me if that was my name. I said yes. So he knew my middle name. He asked me to verify my address. He gave me my home address. He knew my home address. And then he went on to say that I was served with a subpoena at my old office. And he knew that I had switched brokerages in May. So he had the address to my old office and to my new office. So I thought, okay, you know, maybe he's right. But then he started getting more in depth about what he was asking. And let me just be really clear. He never asked me for money. He never asked me to, in fact, I did tell him I wasn't comfortable with the conversation. And he said, well, I'm not asking you to send me money. The court office, he mentioned specifically Randy Crane, his office will be calling you to collect payment. So he was saying basically that I had a warrant out for my arrest for failure to show in a federal case where I was supposed to be a character witness. And at that point, I already knew that it was a scam, and I told him I would be contacting my attorney, and I hung up. And I did go to McAllen PD, and they told me I wasn't the only realtor who had come in and filed a report. So that's basically what happened.
Okay. And as I was saying earlier, a year ago, we had an issue with a gentleman calling a lot of female agents and harassing them. So it's a little bit of a difference between the scammers and the harassment. But in the end, there was some very relevant information that was shared with Missy. I think you had the phone call and you contacted the police. If you want to kind of go over and give a little bit of a background of what the phone calls were and what, you know, kind of the situation that happened a year ago.
So, excuse me, my dogs want to come into the conversation right now, so I have myself muted. And of course, the student in my homeschool course comes out at the same moment too. Live, this is great. So the situation is, it was not unique just to me. This was happening to several of the realtors in the area and to others nationwide. Normally when scammers work, they find an opportunity and they duplicate it because they know that if it works in one area, it can work in others. And what happens is, safety wise, we're all told put our phone numbers into the do not call list. And that's a good thing to do. However, most scammers utilize digital phone numbers that are not real phone numbers. They go in and under the disguise of a phone number that looks local, but it's not. You can do so yourself just by going into Google Voice and creating a falsified or a pseudo phone number to cover your own. And what happens is they call you from a computer and they try and fish out information. Different scammers have different ways of, you know, trying to get the information from you. And in this case, there's a lot of times where people will go under the disguise of a phone number, a local phone number, to try and, you know, see where you're at. And in that case, I was followed by somebody, and big kudos to McAllen PD for identifying who this person was and making sure that they were no longer a threat to me. So I did step up. I did press charges. I'm not one to hold back and say, oh, well, you know, I'll forgive you, or I'll just, you know, forget about this whole thing. My mind is, this person has done this to me. This is not the last time that they've done this. This is not the first time that they've done this, and they're going to continue to do this. So we all need to make sure that we turn in and report the person and what they've done. Okay. And so in my case, I had somebody who was following me and who was threatening me. And I contacted McAllen PD, and they did find out who this person was, and they shut them down. We did press charges. That person went ahead and paid the price for it, very dearly too. So I'm grateful. I hope that it stopped the practice from happening to other realtors. However, there's going to be some times where, you can't just stop all the bad people. So we have to take care of ourselves. NAR has some really, really good sites and practices, even to where if something should happen to any one of us or our family members, there is a hotline of sorts where you can go on to the NAR site and report this. And they will send out a blast to all of the realtors in the nation and let everybody know, hey, we have a realtor who is in distress and they need help. It goes through a certain type of criteria. But NAR does have the ability to send out all the alerts to everybody nationwide, to the PDs, to the associations, and to each of the individual realtors. So it's a great access, a great tool to have if any one of us are in need of that help. Now, this is a critical need. So this is not just if you lost your pet or something. This is something that's pretty important. So right now, what had happened locally and nationwide, you have the insurance fraud. That's right now one of the biggest things. Sorry about that. Again, I love my dogs. Yesterday was National Dog Day. They're wanting to still celebrate. Sorry. So right now, the biggest fraud that's happening is you'll get a phone call from someone who is disguised as NAR insurance, and they're wanting to be able to sell you insurance. This is a big, huge scam. It's taken a lot of our personal information from our realtors, and that's something that's pretty it's really important to all of us. We have to stay vigilant. We have to stay safe. So if anything happens and you get a phone call like this, please make sure that you report it. Do not hit the one to be removed from the calling list. That's a scam in itself, because it's not a phone number that you're hitting one to. You're letting the scammers know that the phone number that they're calling is an active number that has a human being behind it. So what they do is they take that number, your number, and they sell it or they reuse it to others. So please don't hit one, just hang up. I do subscribe to a robocaller, and that is a paid subscription. And every time somebody calls me from one of these fake numbers that I know is fake, I'll log it in, and it lets the nation know that this number is not a good number. It's a bad number, and it's being used to fish information from you. It does cost something like $2.99 a month, which is something that's, it's pennies for me, knowing that my line is secure. And just like how Monica said, it goes directly to voicemail, and it won't even let my phone ring. It will completely take it over into a completely different site, and it will respond saying, hello, your number has been identified as a scammer number, and you can leave a voicemail if this is not true, and Missy will respond back over to you as soon as possible. So it allows you to be able to go ahead and get those numbers that have been purposely hidden for whatever reason, and get the voicemails, but it will stop me from getting annoying phone calls. And I can go ahead, and I do check my voicemails. I'm that type of person. So
Well, one of the things I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No.
I was going to say one of the things that I was impressed with in Trisha's situation was that she was sitting and she was able to log into the computer and Google this police officer's name, And
Very smart.
yeah, so a lot of our agents aren't sitting at home, or they're not sitting in front of their computer. They're driving around, or they're en route to something, or they're waiting in their car.
Right.
So it's hard to be able to do that unless you have the presence of mind. I think there are some alarm bells that Trisha listened to within her own gut, immediately, which again is something I wouldn't have necessarily thought to do right away. And so in that sense, I thought that's a good cue and a good example of something that we need to let our members know is pay attention to your gut instinct. And you can't always just trust the phone call as you're getting it, but
Right.
be cautious because this is happening. And now that you know that it's happening, make sure you're pulled over on the side of, and if you have them on, put them on speaker, do a search. But that was very quick thinking. And I had to commend you for doing that. But even then, it was really all about listening to your instinct of something's not right here.
Right.
Yes.
And the reason that Trisha was asking us, sent that to our association office, was she's asking like, hey, did our contact information, because he knew so much information about her, it seemed so official, but once she was realizing there's something wrong here, contacting us to say, did we have our system compromised in any way? Because of the amount of information that they had was surprising. We did double check. We did have our IT guys go and check our system and our network server, and nothing was compromised. However, I just want to ensure our members that all our information that we have on Growth Zone and Matrix, that information is hosted by very secure servers by those companies and not within our own system. So none of that system can be compromised through GMAR's server. So I want to make sure that we take the opportunity to clarify that as well. So don't, they're giving you some very specific information about your full name and information about your current brokerage, what day you moved from a previous brokerage, etc. They're getting it from the interweb. They're not getting it from our servers, and that information is readily available if they take the time to search it, and it's very specific. I want to say that there's a couple of people who have put comment that this was happening to them as well, that they've received those type of phone calls. I have at least 2 people in the comments who have said that this has happened to them. And I would assume it's something that's happened recently. And I also want to make sure that this video is emailed out to members, and you can go back and watch it from the beginning and kind of see what happened to Trisha. But there are scamming situations going on right now, and it's happening nationwide. Just want to reiterate.
Can I interject some of the things that you can do?
Yes,
if you do get these phone calls or emails, again, the do not call list, make sure that your number is listed on there. DoNotCall.gov is where you register your phone number. But again, a lot of these calls are not real phone calls. They're coming from someone's computer. So that falls into the internet fraud. So with that, you need to go to ftccomplaintassistant.gov. And that's where you go ahead and you you can place in your complaint. Because many of the hosts are mirror sites, or they're from other countries, it's very hard to enforce the law on them, but it makes an awareness nationwide on what's going on and allows us to be able to be aware of everything and put out a blanket awareness and alert to everyone. If things get really, really dangerous, this is where the FBI comes in. IC3.gov it's a great site. Please bookmark that.
Repeat it really quick.
Sure. IC3.gov.
Okay.
So
I'm
if you
adding
go,
those links. I added the link to the FTC complaint assistant in the comments, and I'm going to
Great.
add the link to this as well into the comments.
perfect. So ic3.gov/complaint, that will take you to the site where you can actually put in your complaint about it. And that is where the FBI has actually created a department specifically for this, because there's so many people, so many scams that are going through all of this. But again, it's hard to enforce, but it allows an alert just like this, that NAR is able to go ahead and alert all of its members saying, we do not have an insurance department that's calling you every day at noontime at 2 o'clock. And it just, that's when they make the phone calls. If you do get contacted by the NAR insurance fraud scam, NAR has created an 800 number where you can go ahead and call in and let them know that you have been contacted. If you gave them any information just blindly and innocently because you trust NAR, let them know what information you have been given. And you can call 1-800-874-6500.
874.
6500.
Okay.
So if it's easier for you to use the phone number and call them and let them know, hey, I just got a phone call right now, and I gave them my social security number, or I gave them my phone number, my email address, my home address, whatever it was, they'll be able to go ahead and guide you through the complaint process by phone. And there's also a really great tool that NAR uses, and I urge everyone to be able to go onto that NAR site right now. It's a long address, so I recommend, oh my goodness, Bailey, come on. That's Bailey. That's Bailey,
No,
Bailey, Bailey, no, Bailey, no, Bailey, no. She just came up on my lap. So NAR has a search bar at the top of their site. If you just contact or just type in safety network, the safety dash network, it will send you to this great site. So it's nar.realtor/safety/realtor-safety.network. Again, I just go up to the little search bar and I put in safety network. That takes you to the same site as well. And it's
Put it in the comments. It's in the comments. Yeah.
And it has this this great tool. It's called the NAR Data Security and Privacy Toolkit. Download that. It's got a lot of really great information, and it's specific to Texas, because every state has its own different safety network and safety protocol. This one, if you go down to it and you look at the issues, it will give you so many different tips and tricks on how often you need to keep all of the secure information for your clients. It will let you know specifically how it pertains to you and how to keep your iPad, your phone, your laptop, your computer safe from everything. Right now, we're in this great election process. That's a really wonderful thing for our government and our democracy. But scammers prey on those people who are trying to get information. And there's lots of links that are being sent to you blindly, and they look like they're legit, but they are. There's hidden consequences that come in with that every time you forward it. So just a good rule of thumb, if you're ever given an email that says, send this to all your contacts, please don't send it to all your contacts, regardless if it is an election thing or a mass prayer or some COVID thing. Do not send it to all of your contacts. If it was something that was really legit, you would have gotten a phone call from a friend that really cared. Hey, I have a friend who needs prayer. Please include this person in your prayer list. Someone's not going to call you and say, hey, please call all of your contacts. It's not a legit thing. So just please use that as a rule of thumb. It's not legit. and it's probably backed up by a hidden Trojan horse, or some sort of a crazy thing that's not good for you or me or any of my friends. So
And I wanted to let everybody know that we're gonna. I know that a lot of people. We usually do a 30-minute segment. We're going to go over, and this is important enough for us to be able to do that. Again, safety is important. And right now this issue is sort of a hot button issue for our members. And we want to provide as much information as we can. And Missy is just giving us like wealth upon wealth of information. And we're posting things within the comments of the items. Bookmark or save this video so that you can always come back or refer back to it. But again, there's going to be some great tips that Missy has just shared with us. And I'm sorry, Missy, I'll let you continue.
And also, if this is too much information right now at this moment, please feel free to call me, text me, anything. I am a big computer nerd. This is something that I have been doing for years and years. And I've just been able to gather a lot of this information specifically for realtors. So, and for our clients, our customers, there's a responsibility that we have, and that's to keep them safe during this transaction, during probably the biggest financial transaction that they're ever going to do in their entire life. So there's a lot at stake here. We have a huge responsibility to keep our computers, our information, our files safe, and ourselves safe. We're in a very delicate industry, in that many times we're in vacant homes out in Timbuktu, in new communities that don't have a lot of traffic, and we're meeting strangers out there. It's very, very dangerous in everything that we do. So it's important that we all stay safe, we keep each other safe, and that we work together on this, because we are stronger together. And if something should happen, we have to turn them in. Otherwise, it will continue to happen. So Trisha, kudos, you did awesome. Please make sure that you contact the police department, the sheriff's department, whoever it is that's in charge of that zone that the incident happened, and don't feel afraid to call it in. This is something where Trisha took care of herself, but she also took care of me to make sure that it's not going to happen to me. So thank you. This is what we all need to be doing. We have to look out for each other.
And to that end, there are other steps and tools that the association is providing our membership that'll help. If you are physically feeling, there's ways of keeping yourself safe. And in the beginning of June, we moved to HomeSnap as our MLS app of choice. And members have their safety features within HomeSnap. And I wanted David Casares, he's the director on our board of directors, and he also does the MLS orientation with our new members. And so I reached out to him and was talking to him about safety and HomeSnap, and I knew that there was features in it, and he was willing to come on today to kind of go over those with us. And I've made you a co-host rather than me trying to share information. That way you can go ahead and kind of walk us through what this home safety features from HomeSnap are. I know you sent me a link to HomeSnap to have the safety features on it, but I'll just let you share.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. And again, guys, awesome information. Trisha, thank you very much for coming on. And just to reiterate some of the stuff that was discussed already, and what Missy was mentioning as well, just to shed some light, how are these people getting our information? We have secure servers, we have a third-party cloud that's highly secured, different avenues that secure information. So how are folks across the nation or from other countries getting our information? long story short, government regulations about 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, sorry, I think it's 2016, they started releasing or loosening the sale of our metadata. So what's happening is that third-party platforms like, and I'm not pointing fingers, but like stuff that's working on Google, Amazon, Wish, you know, whatever it is, where you're putting your contact information, that data is getting turned around and sold to other parties. So it's not necessarily that's getting hacked, it's that they're able to purchase the information, and that's how they're able to gather a lot of information about you very, very quickly. And of course, one of the tips that I recommend, that I give in when you're farming for properties, there's a lot of free websites online, like truepeoplesearch.com. I can literally put in your name, find out who all your relatives are, find out if you've had an arrest record, phone numbers, emails you used in high school. I can see all that all free because that third-party company is purchasing it and publishing it for free. So yes, Missy, you're correct. Even if you push 1 or 2 or hang up, they're going to continue calling you because they're not following the same guidelines as the federal government. They're playing by their own rules. It's the wild, wild west right now. So where I come in is, yes, register on the do not call, but how do we protect ourselves? We're talking a lot about right now about how do I protect my data? But let's say I'm in a hurry. We're mobile, right? We may be sheltering in place, social distancing or whatever, but we have to conduct business. So I'm running down, you know, from West Laco back to McAllen. I'm getting a phone call saying, "Hey, I'm in front of this house. I see your sign. We would like to show the property." You have a quick conversation. You have a 15 or 10-minute drive or whatever, and you feel comfortable, but you're not fully focused. And you say, "Okay, let me do the showing." So then you schedule the showing and you show up to the property. What then? You know, what do you do then? How do we, as an association, empower our agents and help protect themselves? I could sit here and say, "Hey, go get some self-defense classes." Guys, I'm 6'1" and well over 370 pounds, or yeah, 370 pounds. You're not gonna stop me. You know, I know how to carry my weight. I used to play Division I football. So it can be very, very scary for some people when they're in a private residence, especially if it's vacant and nobody else knows that you're there. So let's say that you get in an altercation, right? How do you protect yourself? Yeah, sure, defense classes. Yeah, sure, go get your concealed carry. A lot of things can happen in 30 seconds, right? So how do we help empower each other? So HomeSnap had the safety feature. We were actually discussing this well over a year ago, trying to interview and review different platforms that help secure and make our members feel safe. So HomeSnap, when we decided to go with HomeSnap, was one of the main things was because of their safety function. So this whole time, I'm not actually at home right now, I'm at the office, pun intended. So let's say I'm at a vacant property and I'm showing the property. It's a commercial property, commercial, residential, doesn't matter. I'm doing a showing, right? Something happens, I get attacked or confronted or whatever. I need to do everything that I can. I can give you tips and say, "Hey, look, when you go to a property, never face your car forward. Always face your car out of the way that you came, so that if you have to run to your vehicle, you get in and drive off." I can tell you that. I can tell you, if you're going into a subdivision, never face into the subdivision, always face out of the subdivision. I can tell you that you can talk to your broker and say, your broker, your team leader, your coach, your mentor, whoever, your brother, your sister, tell them, "Hey, I'm gonna do this showing. I'm gonna be here for whatever. Call me in an hour, call me this, call me whatever." I can tell you to do all these things, but when you're in a hurry and you're using the tools that we have provided to you, how do we empower you to operate efficiently and safely? So HomeSnap, I was texting Trisha when we started, and Missy, I think I already have your number anyway. I was asking you guys to turn on your phones and make sure that your notifications are on. So let's assume that I'm at a showing right now and something happens, right? So then I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm listening to my gut. I'm like, "Hey, something's going on." And all of a sudden, I'm in distress. So once I'm in distress, I need help. I can help myself as much as I can, but the hope is that I can bring other people to help me. And I'm hoping that you guys got that message just now. So at that moment on HomeSnap, there's a safety function currently that and you can, if you put your face in front of you, you can kind of see it. There's a little video. So HomeSnap has a safety.
Can't see because of the background.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I'm going to show you the video in a second.
Okay.
HomeSnap has this safety function that when I'm at a property and I'm showing the property, before I even get off my vehicle, right? I haven't even encountered the uneasy feeling yet. Making it that part of my process. Never face in, always face out. Look for the exits, let other people know, but also use my app. You're going to be using the HomeSnap app because they're going to ask you questions about the property anyway. Why not just take that extra step and activate the safety function? So the safety function has two levels. One, you create a timer where you can just put it away in your phone and somebody will call you when that timer goes off, and you can dictate how many people are going to get notified. Or if you're in distress and you have it in your hand, you can manually activate that alert right then and there, just like I did. So there's two levels to it, and I know it's hard for me to articulate that right now, but I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to play the quick video, the tutorial from HomeSnap. Give me a second. Sorry. Here. So on HomeSnap, if you just go on Google and type in HomeSnap safety timer, you'll come across this screen. When you come across the screen, it'll have the little step-by-step informational on how it works and how it'll alert people. But at the very top, if you want to reiterate or revisit the tutorial, it's right here. How does it work? And we'll post it on the GMAR Connect and everything.
And it'll be in the comments.
Now you can stay safe.
I'm going to go ahead and play this real quick. Let me go full screen. Okay. And I'm going to minimize you guys. And just check this out. I believe it's like 2 minutes.
Now you can stay safe at showings with the Agent Safety Timer. When you arrive at a showing, open the listing in HomeSnap and tap on the Safety Timer button to get started. Tell HomeSnap how long you expect to be at the showing by setting a duration. Next, select the emergency contacts to notify via text message in the event the timer expires. Finally, start the timer with a tap and show your listing. You can access the timer by viewing the listing, on your profile, or on Android by notifications. You can add more time or stop the timer whenever you want. When the time is getting low, HomeSnap will notify you. And if you let the time expire, HomeSnap will issue a text alert to your emergency contacts with your current address and cell number. In case of distress, you can send a text message in one tap with the distress alert button. Stay safe at showings with HomeSnap Pro's Agent Safety Timer. All this and more at homesnap.com/pro.
So how do we empower our agents? I think this is a great first step for that. Again, there's other features that we'll continually consider, and we're always looking at stuff like that on the MLS, on membership engagement. We're always looking at things that we can provide, and this discussion is not going to end, guys. We're going to continue having this discussion. And ladies, thank you for being on the call. And I know a lot of my colleagues are sitting here and be like, this is a female issue. Guys, wake up. Men get attacked every single day. Okay, so this is not a gender thing. This is an industry thing. So we need to help each other as much as we can. So again, the video will be there on the chat. It'll be there on GMAR Connect for you guys to review. That's pretty much it for me, guys. Be safe, be safe. Let everybody else know where you're at, but empower yourself, operate your business. We have to conduct business. Not too long ago, I was on a webinar discussing about the real estate and economy and all that. We are essential for a reason. If real estate sales stop, our economy can crumble very quickly. So we have to find a way to operate, conduct business, grow our business, and provide the services to our general public and clients. So again, I hope this helped. Thank you, Tricia. Thank you, Missy. I'll hand it over back to Monica.
Oh, thank you, David, because this is a very important feature, very important aspect of, again, the tools that are that the members have literally in your hands. And it's a matter of understanding the power of that equipment and the tool, and knowing how it helps you not only be successful in your sales or in your business, but protects you at the same time. And the membership committee, as David can attest, has been looking at safety apps, et cetera, for probably 2 years before HomeSnap came into the picture. And we realized that here we had this app that could provide the safety features in addition to one of the best MLS mobile device apps out there. So it provides both items, but you know, it was these subjects and sometimes these member minutes, we you know, there was a feeling of this is pretty urgent. This was very important information, and you know, let's get this out there to the membership as quickly as possible. And that's why we come to you, and that's really why member Mondays, member minutes came to begin with. It was, there's so much information on the pandemic that's going on, and it's changing so rapidly. We need to try to provide as much information to our membership on whether they're essential, whether they're not, what, you know, et cetera. And here we are again, another subject matter that is extremely relevant and important, and that needed to get out to the membership as soon as possible. So again, I want to thank all of you for joining us, everybody who joined us on video. Again, we will, this video, our Member Monday videos are emailed out to all of our members as well, so they can watch at their, you know, and refer back to it. And this is very relevant. And Missy, thank you for always coming on and providing this information. I think 4 years ago, when I started with the association, there was a September meeting, and it was the first time that you started talking about safety. And it was literally a month after I had started with the association. And I remember that very clearly because I was learning about the real estate industry and managing the association, but it was an awareness of these people can be putting their lives at risk by going to a showing, just conducting your job. So this is not an issue that is going away. Safety is always going to be important and relevant to your day-to-day business. So we thank all of you, and David, of course, always our tech guy. And we appreciate you coming on and providing that information. We have a lot of the links within the comments, the HomeSnap videos in the comments. If you wanted to, anybody wants to come back and refer to this video and search, so that they can just search and click a link. The title is Safety and Scammers, or Scammers and Safety. You can do the search within Jimmy R Connect if you ever want to come back to this video. So we thank you again, and everybody have a great Thursday and a great weekend. And bye, Bailey. Bailey. All right, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.